as the very first page of the 2026 calendar was turned. While the echoes of New Year's Eve celebrations still lingered across the streets of London, a seismic shockwave hit. It wasn't celebratory fireworks, nor was it sweet promises of a bright future. Instead, on the very first day of the year, Chelsea chose to deliver a cold, perhaps even ruthless message: the sacking of head coach Enzo Maresca. It was a decision that left the football world reeling, not just because of its timing, but because of the incredible paradox of the man departing. Enzo Maresca was no failure. He left Stamford Bridge as a reigning Club World Cup champion and the man who delivered the UEFA Conference League trophy to complete the Blues' European collection. But in the meat grinder that is Chelsea under its American ownership, yesterday's glory is never an immunity idol for today. The questions echoed across forums, pubs, and back pages. Why sack a winner? Why on January 1st? And why has patience become such a luxury item at Stamford Bridge? To justify any sacking, the first place to look is the results. And in this regard, those arguing for Maresca's departure have a point. Chelsea entered 2026 with form unacceptable for a title contender. In their last 7 Premier League matches, Maresca's army secured only a single victory. That is a damning statistic. This slump saw the team slide to 5th in the table, facing the real risk of falling out of the Champions League spots. But what gave the Chelsea hierarchy the biggest headache wasn't just the defeats, but how they were dropping points. Statistics show that in the first half of the season, the Blues threw away 15 points from winning positions. This is the clearest sign of a squad lacking mentality, focus, and the tactical discipline to protect a lead. The 2-2 draw against Bournemouth on New Year's Eve was seen as the final straw, a microcosm of Maresca's failure to control games. However, to dismiss 18 months of work based solely on a short-term dip seems deeply unfair. Maresca managed Chelsea for 92 matches, boasting an impressive 60% win rate and 2 major trophies. Yet, in the eyes of Todd, Boehly and his associates, that past was not enough to save the present. They decided to make an immediate change to get the season back on track. And Maresca was the sacrifice. It must be said, this was not a spur-of-the-moment decision. It was the consequence of a chain of events the British media described as 2 weeks of collapse, where the relationship between Maresca and the board went from fractured to completely broken. Things started to turn sour after the win against Everton on December 13. In the post-match press conference, instead of celebrating the victory, Maresca uttered bitter words. He admitted he had just experienced his worst 48 hours since arriving at Stamford Bridge and felt he wasn't receiving the necessary support. This statement was like a grenade thrown straight into the boardroom. Chelsea's executives and staff admitted they were completely blindsided, unsure of what their manager was implying. That ambiguity sowed doubt and created a toxic atmosphere within the club. Sources later revealed that the terrible 48 hours Maresca referred to stemmed from fierce disagreements with the club's medical department. This season, Chelsea continues to be ravaged by an injury crisis. Captain Reece James has spent more time in the hospital than on the pitch, while starman Cole Palmer has only just returned from a lingering groin injury. Maresca felt helpless without his best cards and believed he wasn't protected enough against the pressure for results amidst a crippled squad. Maresca also felt the media unfairly made him a scapegoat for poor results, while in reality, his hands were tied by mandates to rotate the squad, develop young players, and appease agents. Backstage pressure mounted as agents constantly questioned the board about their clients' playing time. The Italian strategist felt his professional authority was being stripped away by micromanagement and deep interference in coaching matters. Despite holding the title of head coach, Maresca felt he had no real power, a scenario eerily similar to the frustrations Thomas Tuchel experienced in 2022. Tensions reached a boiling point after the disastrous draw with Bournemouth. Maresca refused to attend the post-match press conference, citing illness. Assistant Willy Caballero was forced to face the media in his place. Chelsea's owners viewed this not just as an avoidance of responsibility, but as an act of open defiance. When a general no longer wants to face the music, it is a sign that he is ready to abandon ship. This unprofessional handling of the media played a significant role in making the situation completely unsalvageable. Beyond the internal civil war, there was another shadow looming large over Maresca's tenure: whispers linking him to Manchester City. In the managerial world, it is an open secret how highly Pep Guardiola rates Maresca. The Spanish mastermind has publicly praised his former assistant as an exceptional coach. So, when Pep's future at the Etihad became uncertain, Maresca was immediately anointed as the heir apparent to the city throne. According to the Telegraph, a feeling grew within Chelsea that Maresca was distracted by the siren call from Manchester. They doubted his devotion to the Stamford Bridge project. The Athletic even reported that Maresca had informed Chelsea twice, once in late October and again in mid-December, that he was in talks with city-related figures regarding a potential future vacancy. Maresca was contractually obliged to disclose these talks. However, for American owners who value absolute loyalty and total commitment, having a head coach with one eye on a rival was unforgivable. Chelsea would rather burn it down and rebuild than keep a man whose heart might belong elsewhere. This suspicion, combined with declining results, accelerated the axe, but Maresca's departure has sparked a furious debate when compared to the situation of Ruben Amorim at Manchester United. These are two polar opposites, reflecting the absurdity of modern football. Fans have mocked the fact that Maresca was sacked before Amorim as a farce. Statistically, Maresca is miles ahead. He had 18 months, 2 major trophies, and a clear identity. Meanwhile, at Old Trafford, Ruben Amorim is still stumbling through a myriad of problems. From an undefined style of play to dismal results, typified by a home draw against bottom-of-the-table Wolves, Amorim has 0 trophies. Yet he stays. Maresca delivered glory, yet he finds himself on the street. The way Chelsea announced the sacking speaks volumes about their cold-blooded nature. A sterile statement of just 99 words. No emotional tribute video. No heartfelt goodbye. Just brief text confirming a mutual parting of ways. The paradox at Chelsea is that both sides believed their way was the key to glory. But they were never in sync. On the ownership side, particularly with Boehly, there is deep interference in football matters coupled with an extreme youth policy and strict wage control. This is a historic gamble with no precedent of success, and the risk of 4 or 5 barren years is very real. Meanwhile, the sporting directors, despite their titles, seem to lack clear direction. Recruitment decisions over the last 2 years are riddled with question marks, from failing to replace an injured Levi Colwill to puzzling signings like João Felix or Emugu. The core issue remains: are they buying players based on dry scouting data while ignoring the tactical realities and specific needs of the manager? Remarkably, even though Maresca's contract ran until 2029, with more than 3 years left plus an option for another, Chelsea will not face a massive payout. This suggests the exit may be tied to specific performance clauses or a gentleman's agreement to save face for both parties. Maresca leaves without fanfare, leaving behind an unfinished legacy and a massive question mark over the stability of the Stamford Bridge hot seat. With this sacking, Chelsea is now searching for their 5th permanent manager in less than 4 years under the Boehly Clearlake era. It is a statistic that screams inconsistency at the highest level. Who will be the next brave soul to sit in this electric chair? Reliable sources indicate Chelsea has no intention of appointing an interim caretaker. They want a permanent boss immediately to attack the January transfer window and salvage the season. The shortlist has already been revealed, featuring some intriguing names. Leading the race is Liam Rosenior, currently the head coach of Strasbourg. This appears to be an internal promotion of sorts, given that Strasbourg also operates under the Blue Co umbrella. Rosenior is highly rated for his modern tactical intelligence and his ability to nurture young talent, key pillars of the Chelsea project. However, his lack of elite-level managerial experience remains a massive question mark. Alongside him, Porto's Francisco Ferrioli is being seriously considered, though his steep $17 million release clause poses a significant financial hurdle. Other tactical minds like Roberto De Zerbi and Andoni Iraola are also firmly on the radar. Interestingly, club legends like Cesc Fabregas or John Terry are completely absent from consideration. This signals that Chelsea remains steadfast in their pursuit of modern, system managers, tacticians with specific philosophies, rather than relying on nostalgia, emotion, or the aura of past playing glory. In the immediate interim, assistant Willy Caballero will take the reins. He faces a baptism of fire, a stormy trip to the Etihad to face Manchester City on the evening of January 4. Chelsea's 2026 has begun not with a celebration, but with a separation. One can only hope this drastic measure brings the fresh air the owners desire, rather than triggering a new era of chaos in West London. As always in football, time will be the ultimate judge of the ruthless decision made today.